Truthfully though, I think there is, an advantage to being in a band also, because it is a little bit, there's a song off our last record called Against the World, which is, there's a line that says, it's you and me and us against the world. And it's a song that was kind of directed in some sense at the audience as well as us, but it really talks about the fact that when you're in this unit and you're in this band, it's a little bit like, a band of brothers, literally, or in the kind of like military sense,
figurative sense,
like you're in this fight together in a lot of ways. And I do not envy folks like you or other solo artists or other TV presenters or radio hosts or things, because there's a real challenge and a real difficulty in going through life on your own. I don't think we're meant to go through life on our own. It's hard to kind of, if you don't have some constants like that with, bandmates or brothers or things like that are kind of, shall we say, holding you together, or in some capacity, keeping you on the rails, being like, hey man, don't push too hard. The train might, go off the tracks. It's difficult to stay within kind of a sane version of yourself, because I will say, probably me more than anyone, I am definitely guilty of being the one who feels like he's got a little bit more to prove and a little bit more of a chip on his shoulder about some things, because I try very hard to understand other people and try very hard to kind of empathize with what people are going through.
Why do they keep saying that?
And why, and the idea that people, go, oh, well, you're this, and oh, well, you're that. And I feel like, wait, that's not right. I have a tendency to be fairly defensive at times, and Taylor and Zach do not have that particular thing in their psyche. They have other problems, huge, massive problems. We could talk about that all podcast long. But
so do you guys all play almost a role within this trio to support the work you're doing? Is there somebody that pushes things forward or someone that pulls things back a bit? And what's the dynamic? How does that work?
I would say that our personalities fit fairly well with our instruments. So when you look at a piano, you have 88 keys and you want to play all the instruments, all the lines at the same time, right? This is very Taylor. The big dream.
It's a composer's instrument.
I'm playing the bass and I'm playing the high part. I'm playing the chords, right? Lead guitarists are playing off of people. So, Isaac is always playing off of people. That's even in your description of your own challenges, right? You're expressing that you would hear someone say something and play off of that, have a feeling reacting to that. And so that's sort of the role.
The classic line from Ike in the studio or writing songs. Ooh, that's a cool idea. Go there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I think drummers as a whole, my wife said to me, it's crazy that you have to assemble your instrument every time you go somewhere, right? That's unique to a drummer. You have to put it together like an erector set. And I think because of that, drummers just, they don't care. They know their job is the most important, whether other people realize that or not. They know the song doesn't start until they start and it ends whenever they stop playing.
Wow.
Right? And it's a foundational thing.
And
it's
so,
the foundation of the band.
Therein lied describing his role. He affirms Zach's perspective on his role.
So there's a very, my role is to kind of be the guy that shows up to facilitate what's needed.
It's not so much that you're wrong; it's that you just doesn't realize that I'm right.
But what I mean is,
I know people like
I'm not
you.
a dreamer. I'm not a dreamer. For being in a band for years and years and years, and doing all this and all the amazing things and places we've gone, and we were just playing a surprise show at a festival there were 70,000 people. You're standing on stage and you're like, what? We're in Mexico playing a show. There's 70,000 people. This is insane. Yeah. Right. And, but I'm not a dreamer. I'm a doer. Music is like a set of Legos in front of you, and it can be assembled 100 ways, but it's sort of, that's a note and that's a note, and you build it. So it's not a mystery.
Dreamer, doer, and counselor.
Yeah. I mean, it is interesting. So I I would just add to that. So, I mean, everybody's very creative in very different ways. And I mean, everything Zach said is right. He's totally controlling. Wait, I mean, sorry. No, I'm actually, we're all controlling in our own way of what matters to us. I mean, and, I would say I definitely look at things sort of, if you think about building things, I definitely like to play the architect from the point of view. I want to draw the whole picture. Like I want to know even if the wing's never built, I want to think about, but that's where the tennis court would be. And that's where and I would say, as we've described different ways. Ike, to me is actually like is the carpenter. He's the guy who's like carving out the mantle in this beautiful, ornate way. And like, he's there and it's beautiful. And it's Ike's doing that. And that's where he's present, And then Zach to me is the builder. Zach's more like, he's like, let's build the thing. Why are you still designing the wing? God damn it. We know this is a house. It has rooms.
We have a timeline. We have things we've got to do.
It's beautiful. It's fine. It's
1, 2, 3, 4, go.
Why are we still designing a wing? But this
isn't a plane. It's a house.
Yeah. You're never going to be able to pay for the tennis court. Stop designing it. But it's the feeling off of each other, and regardless of people's different process. And some days, I mean, interestingly, in those roles, a lot of times you change roles depending on what you're driving. This new project we've done was, I would say, extremely painful for me because it was a detachment of what I have always loved a lot about our records, which is knowing kind of at the beginning, okay, here's the 8 songs and here's the 12 songs. And I know at least like we've all kind of,
there was just too many questions.
And this one, the consensus was everybody's going to take 5 songs and essentially write them and then bring the others in, to work on them, with a couple other partners that we love and respect. Jim Scott, legendary Jim Scott, producer, mixer, engineer, and then legendary David Garza, writer, artist, producer. Anyway, but still the lack of like, hey, this is how, like feeling like you can bring everything to bear was painful, but
you couldn't fully be the architect.
Yeah.
You had to let
process, go. Yeah. But the process, I know for everybody in this record, it allowed people to stretch the muscles that they hadn't stretched, and it shifted certain roles. And, Isaac had to say, well, I have to be the taskmaster on this. And Zach had to say, I have to be the dreamer on this. And I had to be the, play off of you in a different way on these things. So, this sense of whatever your role, like you're strong in, this is who I am is, you're always having to kind of adjust to get from here to there. It's not like you get to just stay in a fixed position. You have to respond. You have to figure out how to get it done. I mean, and not kill each other.